So I first found out about Pandora's Locker in 2010, and I approached Dean Burry, who's the composer, in 2011. At that time I wasn't even living in Cardiff, so I was talking about it with colleagues in Manchester as a potential project. And at that point it was very much an idea of a project rather than a fully formed project. It was just we found a really cool opera. This could work for young people. It's a project that I think speaks to a lot of contemporary issues in society, but it's dramatically and musically very, very cool. Talks about some of the issues that young women in particular perhaps find in contemporary society. So thinking about science and their access to science subjects, that we know that a lot of young women are not encouraged to take those subjects at school or find it difficult to justify doing that. I know that I think there are issues potentially for young women growing up in the culture and society we live in terms of media, body image, gender identity and so on. But really I'm just fascinated by the myth of Pandora and why she is the way she is and what she does and why she does what she does. I think we're pretty sorted for the session now, so thank you for the email because that was really helpful.
Very good.
So I'll just collate all of the stuff, and it's basically the three of us for the first one and then you're joining us at 2, is that right?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I just can't get there really, sorry.
Oh, that's good. You haven't heard?
I have my hair done. These things are really important.
And they are! Because on Wednesday you're going to stand in a room with all these people.
Absolutely. I have
They're all
to look
going to be
good for the
looking,
singers.
if not at Dan, then at you.
Yeah.
To look good for Dan, you see. He demands very high standards of his directors.
They won't be able to see me because it's in the round.
Little dig. Little dig there.
We've been meeting this morning for the last time before the production rehearsals start. The music rehearsals already started, but we go into production rehearsals next Wednesday, which is very exciting. So we've just been going through all the final details, checking the schedule, making sure we've got props that we need in place, trying to work out, having a discussion about what the final showing might be.
And then the only thing about where you're putting the band, the strings will want, because it's chamber, they'll want to be in a little semicircle is the only thing.
And there's plenty of space, just to make sure that they're tucked in piano. And some of the details are still very up in the air, but that's part of the R&D process because we are here to test lots of different things out. So some of the things we won't know until we get into rehearsals and we try things out. Other things we've just decided what we're going to do and then we'll see how they work. It's a process of discovery, and Laura's assembled a fantastic team, so we've got lots of people all pulling in the right directions and asking the right questions. And somehow, out of that, we're going to make our way towards the showing on the 18th.
Originally, we started speaking, the idea was that Pandora was an experiment, and that it was going to be like, that the course would kind of be this group of experimenters who were trying different things on her, and we're trying to see how she'd react in different situations. So initially there was like kind of this we were looking at kind of really sciencey, we were kind of being a bit cliche about all of it, this quite sciencey thing happening. And then we kind of talked about, well, who is Pandora and what is she and how does she fit in the libretto, and we kind of decided that it would be really interesting maybe if instead she was the experimenter, and that this opera, this performance was about her trying out different things on herself kind of mentally and like letting herself kind of experiment. And this idea of an attic of her mind, if you will, is like the phrase we've been using, kind of developed. So then that kind of shifted to looking at visuals that are about storage and about containing information and about all these ideas about how she's keeping all this information from her life and she's trying to like rifle back through it and find connections and adding new information as this kind of studious girl.
I've been working for the last few years looking at creating theatre which explores some of the ethical and social and political issues that come out of advances in biotechnology.
When I tap you on the shoulder, I want you to say that first word that's come into your head that you associate with it, okay? Is that all right with everybody? Yeah. So the first word is scientist.
Glasses. Lab coat.
Notepad.
Experiments.
Today we were looking at genetics and inheritance and nature and nurture.
Any kind of things that you surprised you that you heard from other people, or anything that kind of made you think of it?
Everyone in the room seems to have the parents non-musical
Yeah.
or artistic.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Nature, nurture as being one of the themes, I believe, of Pandora's Locker, and the genetics as some background that might inform understanding.
Pandora is bunking off school, but it's not because she doesn't want to be there. It's actually because she doesn't know who her father is, and she wants to go and do research into what that means to her. For example, she doesn't know who her father is, so what if he has the criminal gene? What does that mean to her? And therefore she's not the typical angsty teenager who's just not going to school because she doesn't want to be there. She actually probably wants to be there more, but it's just the answers for her aren't there.
At the moment we're right in the middle of the research and development process, which means we've finally reached a rehearsal room with some people in it who are trying some things out, which is the exciting bit, I think, of any R&D, is to actually be in a space with some people and make something. What that actually means is that we're testing out both the music, so the singers are learning their parts and checking that they know the parts and how to physically sing them, what the notes are, what the words are.
Everyone together, here's a G, ready, and away.
Then Rhian is blocking them and directing them in the space so that they're able to see how they move, how they interact with each other, what their characters might be about, how they relate to other characters in the piece.
I needed to use some tables now. And that's partly because we need to move to the next scene, and partly because I think she's going to find it easy to talk to you if you're doing this.
Yeah.
I think.
So it's almost like she's talking to herself but talking to you.
Yeah, I think if you go on with your tasks and kind of go, oh, all right, you have the apology. Okay, I'll stay then, and start doing stuff. So then you're kind of watching you do things. It's almost like that thing of it's much easier to talk to someone when their attention is not on you.
And starting to make them move in the space in relation to each other, thinking about their characters, thinking about what the whole shape of the piece might look like, and how that high school world that we discover Pandora in works.
Scratch, catch. That's our way. Which is better than the best of us. But it serves her right now. Everybody hates her. Hates her. Walks round school and she also works. So old, with a chip on her shoulder. Older, colder. Has anybody told her she's a loser?
The challenge was really to write a piece which would resonate with older teenagers, or with a teen audience, high school audience. And I can tell you, I mean, right off the bat, when you're writing for young people, there's a challenge there. You have to find the right way to speak to them. And when we all become teenagers, that challenge can become even stronger as well, too, because they start identifying so much in their own world.
Pandora's not like that. Won't think you can judge like other perfect models of high school gods and goddesses. Never a flaw, never a problem. Why don't you mind your own goddamn business?
The problem with opera as well, too, is that it often has so many trappings and BS to it as well. And so the goal with this piece was to write something which was very honest and raw and very sincere, and hopefully something that would really appeal to an audience that often gets forgotten and, and written off.
She's got her friends there and her boyfriend. Her behaviour's changed and they're having to deal with that. And I think her schoolmates aren't the nicest to her. But yeah, she has a good heart. She wants to do the right thing and she wants to be with her friends and her family. It's just she needs to find the answers, really.
Pandora's Locker deals with a lot of themes and issues that teenagers have to deal with. There's issues of self-identification and issues of bullying, self-worth, and fitting in with the crowd and those kind of things. And it's really nice to see that, I mean, bottom line is no matter what part of the world we're from, these are universal things that we all go through. And I think being able to come to a production that's on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean and to see it resonating with young people here as well really is wonderful for me. And it's kind of like, once again, that realization that even though we're different and we come from different parts of the world, there are similarities and we kind of all go through the same thing, and that universality is something which is needed. We need to embrace it.
We're just about to do a run through, and for the first time we're going to have some friends of the show coming to sit in as audience members, which is really great because we'll start to see how it works having the audience in the middle of the action.
Yeah, so just choose any pair anywhere, just one per pair. That would be awesome. Thank you very much.
Never tied a tie before, so I had to get someone else to do it for me. That's really embarrassing.
I've gone for wearing Converse rather than black shoes. I think that's kind of like going to be my individual thing.
Today was a really exciting day musically. It was our Sitzprobe and working with the band for the first time. Our players have all come from Sinfonia Cymru and they sound fantastic. We've had a really good morning with the players, getting to know the score, and then our singers came in this afternoon to try it with the instruments for the first time, and it's always a really fun rehearsal. It really changes the energy to have musicians. Bar 1, 4, 2. Ready, is all. One other element we tried to incorporate today is a little unusual for us. Dean's original conception of the project was that it would have a scratch DJ. Now that's something that we haven't been able to explore fully in the R&D process this time round, but we have incorporated some beats, and the composer himself is on his laptop adding some beats along to what we're doing. And it's a bit of give and take. Sometimes he's got to fit in with us, sometimes we've got to fit in with him. Yeah, but we're getting there.
Let's play a little bit right now. I also can... I mean, ideally the situation here is you actually have a scratch DJ or like a turntablist who's going to do some funky stuff. I'm not capable of doing that, so it's going to be kind of like setting a beat going. But I also... Can we get the bass turned to that guy? It's all about the bass. Yeah, there we go. So we're just going to try kind of working with some...
last day of rehearsal before we hit the final rehearsal tomorrow for the showing, which meant that we finally had all the strings players and musicians in place, and we spent most of the day working through how it sounds with the singers and the players playing together. We've also done a lot of prep for the showing tomorrow, so Tabby and I have been working out what questions to ask people, how it will feel to be an audience member, what we need to tell them about, all the kind of detail of that. And really it's just quite exciting now, because tomorrow's the day and we get everyone in a space, we get an audience in and we find out what people think.
Today is the day. We're heading towards our final showing at 5 o'clock, for which we have a full audience arriving. So what we've been mainly doing this morning is tidying things up, looking at how the workshop section that's being led by Nigel Townsend before the opera starts works, and also talking about the feedback session that we're going to be doing afterwards, and looking at how we glue those together to make our final event at 5 o'clock. We've got Nigel with us again. Hello, Nigel. And Nigel's going to lead the first workshop section of the showing. We've planted Pandora into a debate session that Nigel is leading, and he's asking the question: if you could isolate a violent gene and you could make sure that your children don't have that, would you do it? And so Pandora is basically saying yes, definitely, because violence really hurts people and it can ruin lives, and she gets very passionate about this, and we've staged an argument that then happens, and so we're going to see her as the last thing in that workshop session. We'll see her storm out, and she will reference the letter and she'll talk about her mother giving her information, and I'm hoping that that will lead into the opera and give people a real hook into who she is and what all these people in scene 1 are talking about. I'm quite nervous about how the young people that are coming this afternoon are going to react to it and what they're going to get from it. And I just hope that they can follow the story, even though we're only doing a couple of extracts, and I hope they get as excited about it as I am.
I'm expecting it to be fun, thrilling, and like a new adventure open to young people as well as like the rest of age groups.
I'm a scientist and an educationalist, so looking forward to tonight's performance. I'm not quite sure what to expect really. I'm not much of an opera fan, but I'm interested to see how science can integrate into this program.
I think it's going to be a great show, and I'm expecting really high things from it.
just come out from the performance and it went really well.
I really enjoyed the performance and I enjoyed the music. And I liked the beats when they added the beats in, that was fun. Yeah, that was you don't get to do stuff like that very often.
It's been an intense couple of weeks, but we really enjoyed ourselves and we hope everyone else got something from it.
Definitely.
I was really impressed. I'm not a lover of opera. I've been to one opera, and this is the first time that I thought, yeah, okay, I can get my head around this.
I have never actually seen an opera before in my life, so it was quite interesting for me to see that for the first time. It wasn't as terrific as I thought it was going to be. It's actually really, really good, really enjoyable.
I really enjoyed the performance. I thought the singing and acting was great.
I don't know really what I was expecting, but almost something different because I've never been to something like this before. And it was very interactive and very different.
A lot of it was to do with being in it and it happening around you and the people who were singing engaging with us and the sound coming right kind of around us. I really loved all of that. I loved the way we were moved around the space.
I think it made the whole environment a lot more relaxed about the whole situation.
I really admired all of the performers because I thought that they did a really, really good job of getting the audience involved and actually engage with what they were talking about. And I also think it raised some quite interesting issues that I think would work really well with a young audience, getting them interested and thinking about some quite important questions.
I think I would recommend it to people. It's different if I can actually get other people to come and watch it, but I think they would enjoy it if they would come.
So we've just finished the showing, we're packing everything up. As you can see, the space is pretty much empty now, we're just loading all the vans. So this is officially the final bit of this phase of the project. But we're already really excited by some of the feedback that we're getting from people and the conversations that we're going to keep having over the next few weeks and months, and hoping that we might be able to find a way to put on a full version of the show in the future. And we're just really thankful for all the work that everybody's put in to get us to this stage.